Hi, welcome to this week's GTA 5 o'clock. I'm Tim Weaver. My usual co-host Dan Dawkins is still on holiday. It seems like he's taken the longest holiday in the world. But James Jarvis has kindly stepped in again. Hello, James.
Hello, Tim. Hello, everyone.
So Rockstar have just dropped the official trailer, which is what they're calling it, a TV spot that is going to run in the advert break for Breaking Bad in the States. When, James?
This weekend.
This weekend. Okay. And we're going to go through it. So let's kick right off. An opening shot, James, of the Blaine County area.
Yeah.
We can see the mountain range in the background. What direction do you think we're headed? Looking in. I think it might be north towards the ridges.
Possibly, yeah. I don't want to say, really.
Yeah. All right. Let's back our way out of that and say that the music,
yes,
for those wanting to know, we think is the Chain Gang of 1974 with their song Sleepwalking.
And it's a great track.
A very good track, yeah. So let's move on then to the next part, which is Franklin, Michael and Trevor in a room. Michael's basically saying, my psychotic best friend shows up out of nowhere and tortures me over mistakes I made a decade ago. James, what do you make of that?
Well, I would say, obviously now we know that the stuff that Michael's been doing in the past is now 10 years plus away from the events of GTA 5. Anything more than that, I don't think we know until later on in the trailer, really.
Yeah, I think lots of people have already said to us that by Michael calling Trevor his psychotic best friend, it debunks the brothers' theory, but it doesn't necessarily debunk it in that, this looks like it's come very, very early on in the game. It looks like this is where they kind of first get together, or at least in the early stages of getting together, and it looks like Michael in a way is explaining to Franklin exactly what his and Trevor's history is. And I think that at that point I wouldn't assume that if they were in witness protection and they were brothers, that Michael would necessarily spill the beans in front of Franklin, and maybe we'll find out in a subsequent scene in a minute why. Okay, we see Franklin has come to see Michael at his house, and this is why I don't think you can necessarily debunk the brothers thing, is because it looks like Franklin and Michael have established a previous relationship here, because Franklin comes to talk to him, and Michael seems to know Franklin but doesn't seem particularly interested in engaging him in conversation, let alone giving Franklin any work and letting him in on the whatever business is about to go down.
Yeah, I think they would have met before this scene, but probably not very much. It would have just been like casual acquaintances, and now he's come in to say, "Hey, I've just come by to see if there's something I can help you with." Michael seems a bit reluctant to go with whatever he's going to say.
He tells Franklin he's retired. I wonder whether it might have something, whether Franklin's business with as being a repo man brings him into contact with Michael somehow. Maybe there's a little bit of conflict to start with, because Michael in this scene seems quite a little bit aggressive, a little bit wanting to shut Franklin down. I wonder whether it might be because Franklin has sort of rubbed Michael up the wrong way with like a repossession or something like that.
Well, yeah, we know Michael's wife is out there spending all his money.
Yeah, exactly.
If she's spent all his money and he's got a nice new car, and Franklin's been sent over to go and get Michael's car back, that could be a way that that character introduced to each other.
Boom. Okay, this is a good shot, James, of them running towards the Blaine County Savings Bank. Suggests a mission. We don't know whether this is one of the tentpole missions or whether this is one of the smaller kind of blitz play style missions.
Yeah, I think we see a bit more of this bank later on in the trailer as well, and it seems to be, as we've seen before, all of these trailers and stuff and screenshots take place in and around the same areas. And I think the explosion we've seen way back in trailer 2 with the whole vault getting blown open could be the vault from this bank that they go into and start shooting up in a minute.
Yeah. Okay, who do you think this guy is trying to catch up with Trevor here?
I'm not sure, but we've seen a guy wearing, if not the same t-shirt, a very similar t-shirt when they're in Trevor's apartment in his trailer.
The Floyd sections, the Floyd apartment. Yeah, he's the Juggalo character. Do you think he might be that guy?
Yeah, he could very much be that guy, I think. And it's interesting that he's chasing after him. So obviously they've got some kind of relationship going on there.
Yeah. Okay.
The sign in the background I wanted to point out before we move on. It says By Pisswasser, it makes her pretty again, which is nice.
Nice little touch there.
Here we've got Trevor again, explaining to Michael explaining to Trevor, just saying, don't torture me over the mistakes I made over a decade ago, and him saying, obviously being a bit reluctant. They obviously had an argument here,
and I think it does kind of play into the theory that Dan and I had on the show a few weeks back about there being a prologue maybe set somewhere else other than the sort of San Andreas Los Santos area, and that prologue being where Michael makes this mistake and maybe leaves Trevor high and dry, and here we are 10 years later and they're together again. Okay, this is interesting. They go into the bank, to the Blaine County Savings Bank, and he shoots out a security camera here, which shows you the level of detail there is in the heist, and all the kind of options you have to take into consideration when you're planning a bank job.
Yeah, I would say shooting out the security camera with a shotgun here sort of implies that they've gone for the loud approach rather than the going in and taking everything out stealthily. This will be the one that goes in all guns blazing.
Isn't he wearing a welding mask there?
Yeah, it does look like that. So they're obviously expecting some heavy fire.
I think it also probably suggests that he goes in and welds, maybe blows out the vault door or something like that.
And here's the vault door being taken out. Yeah, this is the same vault door that we see in trailer 2 all that time ago, with the 3 guys crouching behind boxes and stuff. So it's obviously in the same location. I would say that it is the Blaine County Savings Bank.
So here we see Michael chatting to the IT expert, the disabled IT expert that is kind of the brains, it looks like, behind some of their heists. What is he sort of saying to him, James?
He's asking Michael, so are you back in the game? Which implies to me that they've had a previous connection before. Like, this guy's obviously in the game, and he's asking Michael if he wants to get back in it and going back into business, like robbing banks together. So that's an interesting thing, and a connection to their past maybe is now he's an injured IT man. As they've known each other before, do you think that Michael's past sort of got him injured, and that's why he's come back to see him, and now they're working together?
Oh, right. So you think maybe Michael was responsible for his disability in some way?
Well, possibly, and we know, something went bad in Michael's past, and that's why he got out of the game. If he was working with the same kind of people, it could have been one of the things that went wrong. Like, one of the guys got injured, and some of the other guys got killed and kidnapped. He
seems a lot more forgiving of Michael, even though he's got a massive disability, than Trevor is. So Michael must have really wronged Trevor.
Yeah.
Okay, Trevor really excited about the fact that Michael's joining the crew. This is a glimpse again of Trevor's homemade meth lab, although he seems to have cleared out a lot of the apparatus that had been in there previously.
Yeah, he says to Michael, he's like, "Oh, welcome back, man," which do you think, Tim, means that Trevor is the one getting everyone back together?
Yeah, well, we saw in previous trailers that Trevor flew to see Michael, so it seems likely that Trevor is the instigator of this, or maybe he gets wind of the fact that Michael's potentially back in the saddle. Who knows exactly how it will play out, but certainly it suggests that on this occasion that Trevor is trying to pull Michael back into the game.
Now we have a shot over Vinewood where we can see the Vinewood sign. There's a nice little RV van just camped out there, just down the side of the Vinewood sign.
Yeah.
We can also see on the right-hand side the dam.
Yeah.
So we can see how close that is in relation to everything else now.
Yeah, remember we flew over that in the opening stages of the gameplay trailer a few weeks ago. Okay, we're in a planning room here, James. People are planning a heist. We can see Michael. Who else have we got in this room with us?
Well, we can see Franklin there. I think on the right-hand side, we get another glimpse of him in a minute, is the IT guy, the disabled man. And I think from another trailer, we can actually match up who these people are that are sitting on the sofa with them.
Right, yes.
So I think the woman sitting there next to Franklin is Paige Harris.
Yeah.
She's a hacker, so she'll be there doing all the computer stuff. Now, I'm not sure which way round to put these, Tim. Do you want to take a wild guess at it?
I would say probably the guy to Paige Harris's right.
So the guy sitting on the desk.
Yeah, is probably Gustavo Motta.
That's what I went for.
Who's a gunman. And then next to him is Eddie Toe, who is a driver. We could be wrong. there, but that certainly looks like, well, put it this way, the driver's got a pair of gloves on there, and the only reason you'd wear gloves like that is if you're shooting people, which Gustavo Motta looks like he's maybe about to, or you're driving. That's my theory anyway.
That sounds about right. Yeah, Page wants 15% and the other two want 14%. So they're giving away, a big chunk of money there to go on to this heist, which is the jewelry store Bugstar heist that we've seen in all the other traders that they're planning here.
Yeah, you can see it on the board behind Michael. We also get a glimpse of it in a second as well.
It's Franklin here stealing a car before we go back to that heist scene. We can see that the Pink Sandwich Club with the big pink sign.
Yeah, that's the Pink Sandwich, all right.
I think a while ago, like a long time ago, we saw a big building with a giant pink sign, and we couldn't work out what other GTA signage had a big pink logo. And I mean, this one's giant and pink.
Yeah, so. It could be that. Also, rain. So we know that there's going to be diverse weather in the game. If we've got rain, who knows? At the top of a mountain, we may very well get snow. Franklin and Lamar. Lamar is talking to Franklin, telling him this is a legit business, and then Franklin doesn't seem massively convinced by it. Saying to Lamar, "Are you really going to sit there and file your tax returns?" What's interesting about this, I think, is that it seems to suggest that this is the section where they sort of bump into Michael outside his psychiatrist's place. I don't know at this stage whether Franklin's already said to Lamar, "I'm getting out of the game," or I'm going to try something different. And Lamar's trying to convince him to kind of come back in because Franklin wants something a bit more legitimate, or whether there's some other kind of plan that is being made. What's interesting is in the background you've got all this kind of ambient activity. You've got joggers going past and all that kind of stuff, which is really nice.
Here we are with what we can assume to be Franklin driving down the street away from the police. We can see a Vinewood video shop there in the background and a Miss T t-shirt shop.
Yeah.
So there's a couple of other shops that we've seen.
There's another glimpse of the jewelry store planning board. This is a shot. We saw that shot through the window. This is just a shot from another angle. Okay, he seems to be removing a surveillance tape there, James, do you think? Or is that a hard drive?
Yeah, I think it's some kind of data drive. So obviously your heists won't only be stealing cash and jewels and things. You'll also have other highly sensitive data to take back off other parties, like hard drives and things like that, by the looks of things.
Lots of things blowing up behind Trevor. He's a walking chaos machine. What's interesting about this bit is it gives us a glimpse into the submersible right inside for the first time. It looks like a kind of fun kind of environment to go down in the water there. At the same time, Trevor is shouting to Michael, "My job, my score, get your own," which suggests that the characters will indeed come into conflict over jobs. As we suggested on previous weeks, there will be, I reckon this will be the way that they kind of manage the finance to a certain extent, because you can't keep on accumulating masses and masses and masses and masses of money. There must be some risk and reward to the amount of money that you're earning, and maybe the infighting is the way that some of that money gets lost to you.
Yeah, and this bit with Trevor in the sub is taking place by the airport. We can see that in the background here, which is at the same location as we've seen that screenshot with the sub in the water just next to the airport. So again, it's all in and around the same place.
That's interesting. Lifting a window out with pressure pads, it shows another way to enter buildings, to get into buildings. Whether it's difficult to say whether the guy on the left in the balaclava is a specialist, someone who can kind of creep into buildings undetected, I don't know, but again, it shows the kind of equipment on offer and the ways in which you'll be able to complete these heists.
Yeah, this will be the stealthy approach rather than the other one. I think this could be related to the thing that we see of them jumping out of the helicopter, diving down. It looks like they're wearing some kind of special suits to jump through the air, so this could be related to that heist.
Amanda doesn't seem massively impressed with Michael here, probably because Michael's crawling out of a swimming pool at this point. She says to him, "You are a lonely, pathetic psychopath." I wonder what's prompted that, James, and what's prompted him crawling out of a swimming pool.
Well, it could be that he's started to tell her that he's going to go back into having a life of crime, and he's met some new guys, and it's all going to be all right again. And obviously, she's not too happy about that. It could be something different. He could have, started to try and speak to her about this affair that we think she might be having.
Yeah.
There could be a number of things, really. And Michael's not having a good time.
No, he's not having a great time there.
Here's the jump out of the helicopter we're going for.
Yeah, difficult to say, but wow, that view is quite something at night.
Yeah, it's amazing, and it's quite a big jump down to the city as well.
Okay, so here's a mission then in action, and it looks like a biggie, James. People online have been calling this suit and its heavy armor Juggernaut, but what we have to be careful with, I think, in the GTA series is actually there was a Juggernaut in the very first GTA, which was a kind of lorry. Now they'll probably have a different name for it in the game, but yeah, it looks like heavy armor. He's definitely got a minigun. It definitely looks like he's got a heist bag on his back, whether that's already full of loot or whether they're on the way to get some. It looks like they're blowing up a roadblock there.
Yeah, there seems to be a couple of cars in the road, and then the helicopter comes in as well and lays some more fire on it. So it's quite a heavy-handed approach, this one.
What's interesting is that obviously getting air support also from Trevor. Where Franklin is in this equation, I'm not sure, because I'm assuming that is Michael going towards the explosions.
We've also got the name of the area that they're in. We've got the Del Vecchio liquor store there. So this obviously takes place in and around that area. Not quite sure where that is. We can see the big mountains in the background.
Yeah.
So somewhere around there.
I wonder whether it has anything to do with whether this might be Polito around that area, possibly. That's a pure wild guess, but we know that there's like that Polito is kind of on the flip side of the mountain, and we can see the mountain rising up fairly sharply behind it.
Yeah, it could very much be that.
Okay, Franklin riding a motorbike. Looks like he's riding it pretty coolly. He's very smartly dressed, and he's got a pair of shades on. He's not too worried about safety, but then when you've got a special like he has, probably don't worry too much about safety. What are they doing here? Climbing down a staircase, it looks like, or is it a lift shaft?
I think, it's some kind of
it is a lift shaft, yeah.
Inside a building, I would imagine. And I think they are going down into the flames, which doesn't seem like the right way to be going, really. But obviously, it's an escape route out of something that they've started kicking off.
Yeah. Okay, again, all the guys seem like they're pretty tense here, and the IT expert jokes, can we have a group hug? The guys don't look like the type to have a group hug, so no wonder they look unimpressed. Again, the minigun in action. Watch the way the bullet casings spew out the back. Nice little detail there.
We can see the sign for an inn there as well, so there's could be somewhere to go and drink.
Yeah.
Have a few drinks.
This is quite exciting. We can see the jet fighter coming in. It looks like it's being pursued by a helicopter in the background there. But what's more interesting is that is that a person jumping out of the helicopter there?
I think it might be. And just to the right of that as well, do you think that that's a car dropping out of the air?
It does look like a car. Sorry, we're literally reacting to this as it's dropped. So yeah, I never noticed the car when I watched it just briefly before. But yeah, it looks like a person in a car dropping through midair. We've definitely got a jet fighter, and what we've also got is a Rhino tank.
Yeah, tanks on the bridge.
Well, 2 tanks, in fact. One might have already blown up, in fact. I'm not sure, but definitely 2 Rhino tanks.
And a lot of police cars, so this is something big that's happening here. I think those explosions are coming from somewhere else as well. I don't think the plane has fired anything into those tanks, but they are exploding in quite a big way. And this is the final shot as the plane flies by. That is the end of the trailer.
Great trailer. It's short because, like I said, it's a TV spot sitting in our break in the new series of Breaking Bad. We hope you enjoyed the analysis. Do post comments, stuff you spotted below. We always pick through it, and we always really appreciate you when you get in touch and let us know about things that maybe we've missed in our very, very instant reaction to the video. Thanks for listening. Do remember to subscribe. You can follow us on GTA V O'Clock on Twitter. Otherwise, we'll see you again next week.